Rainwater mixed with blood on the concrete floor, 18 stories below. And above it, a teenage girl stared at her own broken body in silence. She could still hear the sound of bones shattering, still hear the terrified screaming from the workers. But strangely, none of that hurt anymore. The only thing hurting now was her heart, because at the exact moment she died, her mother was at home gently wrapping bandages around her older sister's wounds. Again, like every other night. And the last thought that crossed the girl's mind was almost childish. "Mom, my skin is torn too. Can you bandage me this time?" Emma was the youngest child in the family. But somewhere along the way, she became the one carrying the heaviest burden. Her older sister, Sophie, had a rare skin disease. People in the neighborhood called her the butterfly girl. Because her skin was so fragile, even a soft touch could tear it open. A hug could leave wounds. A shirt could peel away flesh. Every day smelled like medicine in their apartment. Creams, bandages, disinfectant, pain. Their mother spent nearly every hour taking care of Sophie, and nobody blamed her for loving a sick child. At first. But slowly that love became something else. Something sharp. Something exhausting. Something that swallowed the entire family whole. Doctors warned their mother before Sophie was born. "She may suffer for the rest of her life. You should prepare yourself." But their mother insisted. "She's my daughter. I'll take care of her forever." And she tried. God, she really tried. For years she barely slept, worked extra shifts, borrowed money, skipped meals, stayed awake cleaning blood from Sophie's bedsheets at 3 in the morning. But pain changes people, especially pain that never ends. Over time, their mother stopped being gentle with anyone except Sophie. Emma's father lasted until she was 13. Then one morning, he walked out the door and never came back. No goodbye note, no apology, nothing. After that, the apartment became quieter than ever. Not peaceful quiet, the kind of quiet where everybody is tired all the time, where nobody laughs anymore, where survival becomes more important than love. Emma's older brother dropped out of school first. During the day, he delivered food on a cheap electric bike. At night, he secretly sang at a small downtown bar for extra money. Sometimes he came home smelling like cigarette smoke and beer. Their mother hated it. "You have time to sing but not enough money for your sister's medicine?" He never argued back. Never. He just lowered his head and listened, like he always did. Emma quit school soon after. She found illegal work at construction sites. The bosses liked hiring teenagers because they could pay them less. So every morning before sunrise, Emma carried bricks, cement bags, steel bars, 12 hours a day, under heat, under rain, under dust so thick she coughed black mucus at night. Her hands became rough, her shoulders bruised purple. Sometimes older workers looked at her with pity. "You're too young for this." Emma always smiled. It's okay. But it wasn't okay. Nothing about her life was okay. One winter evening, Emma sat quietly at the kitchen table, pressing a hand against her chest. Pain twisted beneath her ribs again, sharp, heavy, like something squeezing her heart from the inside. Her brother noticed immediately. "You okay?" Emma nodded too fast, but her breathing gave her away. "I'm fine." "No, you're not." Before she could answer, a scream came from Sophie's room. Their mother rushed past them instantly. "What happened?" "My arm hurts." Their mother dropped everything and ran to her bedside. Emma slowly lowered her hand from her chest. A few seconds later, their mother called from the bedroom. "Emma, bring the medicine box." Emma stood up carefully. The pain still hadn't gone away. Inside the bedroom, Sophie sat crying while fresh wounds spread across her arm. Their mother looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, hands shaking slightly. "Hold this," she told Emma. Emma gently held the bandages while their mother cleaned blood from Sophie's skin. Sophie cried harder. "I know, baby." Their mother whispered softly. "Mommy's here." Emma froze for a second. "Mommy's here." She couldn't remember the last time those words were said to her. That night, Emma's chest pain became worse. Around midnight, she nearly collapsed while washing dishes. Her brother grabbed her arm. "That's it. You need a doctor. There's no money. You could die." Emma forced a weak laugh. "Don't say that." But deep down, she already knew something was wrong. For months now, her body had been giving up slowly. Sometimes she lost feeling in her fingers. Sometimes black dots filled her vision while working. Sometimes her heartbeat became so fast she thought her chest would explode. Still, she kept working. Because medicine cost money. Bandages cost money. Living cost money. And in that house, Sophie always came first. The next morning rain poured across the city. Cold wind cut through the unfinished building where Emma worked. The higher floors had no walls yet. Only steel beams and slippery concrete. Emma climbed carefully while carrying heavy bricks against her chest. Every step hurt. Below her, the city looked gray and distant. A worker beside her frowned. "You look sick." "I'm okay. You're pale. I just didn't sleep much." The worker shook his head. "You should go home." Her phone vibrated inside her pocket. "Mom." Emma hesitated before answering. "Why aren't you working yet?" her mother asked immediately. "My chest hurts again." Silence. Then came the tired sigh Emma hated most. "Emma, this family is already falling apart." "I know." "Your sister couldn't sleep all night from pain." "I know. And now you suddenly can't work?" Emma closed her eyes. Rain hit her face hard. "I'm trying." "We all are," her mother replied coldly. Then the call ended. Just like that. No concern, no comfort, no "are you all right?" Only pressure, responsibility, guilt. Emma stood there silently holding the phone. Rainwater dripped from her hair. For a moment, she looked unbelievably small standing on that unfinished building. Then she slowly put the phone away, lifted another stack of bricks, and kept climbing higher. Not knowing, those next few minutes would be the last moments of her life. And far below her, someone suddenly started screaming. "Hey! Watch out!" The scream echoed through the unfinished building. Emma turned too quickly. Her boot slipped against the rain-soaked concrete. For one horrifying second, her body tilted backward into empty air. The bricks fell first. Then she did. Workers below froze in terror. Someone dropped a steel pipe. Someone screamed her name. But Emma barely heard any of it anymore. The world became strangely quiet as she fell through cold rain and gray sky. 18 floors, down, 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 and in those final seconds, she did not think about herself. She thought about home, about her brother eating cold noodles after midnight, about the leaking ceiling in the apartment, about her mother's tired hands wrapping bandages every night, and about Sophie, the sister she had spent her entire life helping save. Then came the impact. A sickening sound against concrete. Everything stopped. Rain mixed with blood beneath her broken body. Workers rushed toward her in panic. One man immediately grabbed his phone. "Call an ambulance." Another worker stared in horror. "She's just a kid." The site manager's hands shook violently as he dialed the emergency contact number from Emma's file. Her mother answered after several rings. "Hello? Ma'am, your daughter had an accident at the construction site. She fell from the 18th floor. Her mother sighed heavily. "Again?" The man froze. "What? She's pretending to avoid work again, isn't she?" "No, ma'am. This is serious. This family is drowning in debt already," she snapped impatiently. "Tell her to stop making excuses." Then she hung up. Back at the apartment, Sophie sat on the bed while their mother carefully changed fresh bandages around her legs. "Does it hurt?" "A little. I'll be gentler." Her voice softened instantly. Warm, patient, loving. Meanwhile, Emma's spirit stood silently in the corner of the room, watching everything. She looked down at herself, transparent, weightless, gone. At first, she didn't understand. She kept trying to speak. "Mom!" Nothing. No response. She stepped closer desperately. "Mom, I'm here." Still nothing. Then suddenly Sophie knocked over a bowl of hot water beside the bed. The boiling water splashed toward their mother's arm. Emma reacted instantly. She lunged forward trying to shield her, but her body passed straight through. The water hit their mother's skin. She flinched slightly from the burn. And Emma froze, slowly staring at her own hands. That was when the truth finally hit her. Her mother barely noticed the burn. Instead, she immediately comforted Sophie. "It's okay, baby. Mommy's here. I didn't mean to. I know." Emma stood there silently, heartbreaking realization spreading through her like ice. Even now, even after death, her first instinct had been protecting her mother. Late that night, Emma's brother finally came home from work. His shoes crushed broken glass near the doorway. Earlier that day, Sophie had another breakdown and thrown dishes across the apartment. He quietly crouched down and began picking up the shattered pieces one by one. A sharp piece sliced his finger open. Blood dripped onto the floor. But he barely reacted. Like pain no longer surprised him. He placed this month's paycheck on the table. Their mother walked over immediately and counted the money carefully. Her expression darkened. "That's all?" "Orders were slow because of the rain. You had time to sing at bars, but not enough time to earn money?" He lowered his head silently. "You know your sister's medicine is still unpaid?" "I know." "Then why are you wasting time singing?" He wanted to explain that the bar gave him free meals, that he was exhausted, that he hadn't slept properly in weeks. But none of those words came out, because in this family, explaining sounded too much like complaining. Then he suddenly looked toward Emma's empty bed. His expression changed. "She's not home yet?" Their mother barely looked up. "She's probably pretending to work somewhere." His stomach tightened immediately. Emma never came home late. Never. He grabbed his phone and called her. No answer. Again. Nothing. Again. Still nothing. Emma stood beside him desperately. "Please stop calling." Tears filled her eyes. "I'm right here," but he couldn't hear her. Nobody could. Then his phone suddenly rang. Unknown number. He answered immediately. "Is this Emma's family?" the site manager asked shakily. "There's been an accident." Everything after that became blurry. Rain, sirens, his electric bike speeding through red lights, his hands trembling against the handlebars. By the time he arrived at the construction site, the ambulance was already gone. Only blood remained on the wet concrete, covered partially by rainwater. His knees nearly gave out. "No." One worker quietly handed him Emma's phone. The cracked screen still showed her last call. "Mom." At the hospital morgue, their mother finally arrived, still irritated, still unconvinced. She really went this far? But the moment the white sheet was pulled back, the world stopped. Emma's face was pale, bruised, broken beyond recognition. Yet somehow, she still looked young. Too young. Their mother stared silently for several seconds, then laughed weakly. "No." Nobody answered. "This isn't funny." Still silence. Her legs collapsed beneath her. The sound that came out of her next didn't even sound human. For the first time in years, she finally saw everything clearly. The rough hands Emma hid behind her back. The chest pain she ignored. The exhaustion. The silence. The way her daughter stopped asking for help because she already knew the answer. And suddenly, every ignored cry came crashing back at once. "I'm tired. My chest hurts. I don't feel well. Mom." Her daughter had been begging quietly for love the entire time, and she never listened. Their mother sat alone beside Emma's bed. Still untouched. Still messy. A folded work uniform rested near the pillow. Dust covered the cheap little desk where Emma used to count money for the family. Their mother picked up one small notebook from the drawer. Inside were pages filled with calculations, medicine costs, electric bills, food expenses, and tiny notes written beside them. For Mom, for Sophie, for brother. Nothing for herself, not one thing. Their mother finally broke completely. She pressed the notebook against her chest and sobbed until she couldn't breathe. Because the daughter she ignored the most had loved them more than anyone else. Sometimes the people who complain the least are carrying the most pain. And sometimes by the time we finally listen, it's already too late. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment for Emma.